Hello, welcome to my presentation about the Australian dingo. Let's start with some basic facts about what they are. Dingoes are a species of canine that live in Australia. Like most other canine, they are social creatures. They can live in packs of up to 10 others with a dominant male and female taking charge. Though it is not uncommon for a lower ranking male to leave their pack and live alone. They can be recognised due to their golden tops and white bellies. This is a great camouflage against the Australian sands and sun. They live all across Australia, including the grasslands, beaches, and have been caught playing in the snow occasionally. Dingoes will typically only breed once a year. Only the dominant female in the pack gives birth. The outcome is usually 5 pups who will become independent between 6 and 8 months old. As omnivores, this gives them many options on what they can eat. Their diets mainly consist of fruits and berries along with rodents and the occasional kangaroo or wombat. On Fraser Island, they have even been observed catching and eating fish. In 2018, estimations suggested that their populations lay somewhere around 10,000 to 50,000 in the wild. Dingoes generally live up to 10 years of age in the wild, whereas in captivity they can live up to 13 years old. Dingoes have undergone many controversies over the last few decades. Scientists and the Australian government haven't been able to agree on whether dingoes should be classed as feral dogs or untamed wolves, if they should be considered a native species, or if they're pests. We're going to look at these topics in some more detail. Wolves are considered wild animals. Dingoes, however, do not have this same status. Some scientists believe dingoes should be classed as dogs, as they can interbreed with domesticated dogs. Although others argue if that were the case, then most other wild dog species such as wolves and jackals would also have to be classified as dogs, as they can interbreed with domesticated dogs too. A study found that they are more closely related to domesticated dogs than wolves. Other studies suggest that more than a third of southeastern Australia's dingoes are dingo dog hybrids. On the top left of the slide is an example of a hybrid, and on the bottom is a pure dingo. As you can tell, there are a few noticeable differences between the two. The hybrid has more fur and a larger variation of colour, especially along its face and back. The purebred has a smaller chest and a pointier muzzle. Dingoes are widely known as Australia's only native wild dog, although this is not particularly true. Studies have shown that they were brought over from Southeast Asia by humans around 5,000 years ago. Many people argue that they should be sent back to Asia to properly preserve their genetic purity, whereas others say they've lived in Australia for thousands of years and it's become their rightful home. If humans had not helped in the moving process from the speculated area of Thailand, then dingoes' native status would not be as aggressively challenged by the government and scientists. Thanks to this human involvement 5,000 years ago, dingoes are classed as an invasive species. They are also called pests as they occasionally get into trouble with farmers by eating their livestock. There are a few reserves where these animals are protected, such as the Northern Territory and national parks in other areas of Australia. Outside of these areas, it is fully legal to kill dingoes. This is not a bad thing though. Dingoes have become an apex predator due to being an invasive species. There are not many animals preying on them, so it is up to humans to control their numbers. One way we have done this is by building the longest fences in the world around areas of high human population. You can see a map of the fences and dingo population on the left. This prevents clash and stops a spread of new packs forming in these areas. Dingoes are also called pests as they have been accused of causing the extinction of the Tasmanian tiger and the Tasmanian devil on the mainland. This isn't true. Although their hunting grounds were the same, these animals all lived together for a couple thousand years with no problems. Scientists have recently found that the real reason these animals went extinct was because of climate change and the rapid increase in human population. From the research I have done into the topic, I think it is fair to say that dingoes came from being a domesticated dog and then turned feral once brought to free roam in Australia. Australia's native wild dog isn't native at all. They have lived there for around 5,000 years, yet cannot be classified as native due to the human involvement in their immigration. They are pests. Although human encounters are typically rare, dingoes are dangerous and attack farmers' livestock when they can. Dingoes are not an endangered or threatened species and have no common predators, so killing the ones who get in the way is a sad but useful way of controlling their numbers. I originally chose this topic through reading journal articles. The topic really stood out to me as dingoes are not a commonly talked about animal, and I didn't know much about them. Learning all this new information through making this presentation has helped me find a new respect for these animals, and I would love to work with them one day. Thank you for listening. I hope you learned something new from this presentation.